Me again. Today, we're gonna be working on an iPad 8th generation screen replacement. Glass is shattered. I'm gonna show you guys how to do this. First, start by getting this case off of here. Got all these little clips here. We're gonna start by testing it out. Go ahead and start by heating up the screen to soften the adhesive seal. What are you doing? A couple tools you're gonna need. Plastic opening tool, plastic playing cards, suction cup. I like to use the X-Acto blade, Phillips screwdriver, and flat blade to help you clean off any extra glue. And of course, some jitters. The iPad is good and hot. Actually got it up to 81. Flex cables rest on this side. I like to enter the iPad by using a blade. You don't want to use too much alcohol because it can stain the LCD. I will switch to the card. I've made enough of an entry point because the knife, really you just want to use it to get started. You don't want to be relying on it to move throughout the iPad just because you can accidentally stab something. No sense in having extra risk when we have good cards that do the job. Once I get it started, just kind of work it back and forth all the way down. Then the other thing, other than the antennas that you have to be mindful of, is the home button flex cable. Apple has serial coded the Touch ID to the iPad, so if you tear the Touch ID, that is one of the few things on the iPad that you really cannot replace. Magnets that help hold this thing in place, as well as glue in the corners, so you just got to work it gently, all four. If you try to rush it, you can get lines in this display, and that is something you definitely want to avoid. Nice. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and begin by separating the battery. It connects underneath this motherboard connector, so you got to start by removing the screw. And then the next thing you want to do is take your clean plastic playing card that you didn't use to separate the screen and disconnect, slide it underneath there, and that should kill the power. We're going to check it by pressing the home button. All right, the power has been killed. So I'm going to relieve these 3 screws, holding the motherboard in. All right, there is our LCD connector. Nice. We're going to go ahead and set him aside for now. Oh, hello. Next, we're going to disconnect the Digitizer connectors. There's 2, 1, and 2. And the last connector we need to be concerned with for this repair is going to be this home button connector right here. So I'm going to remove this tape, expose that, and slide this guy out of there like so. Then we do have this little silicone cover thing we got to get out of the way. All right, now that he's out of the way, should be able to pull up our home button cable. You got to be careful, it does have adhesive retaining it into the housing. So we should be able to just continue to twist and twist until it is mostly free. Nice. To pull up all that crap. Ugh. Put this on the hot plate to soften the adhesive of this home button, and I'm going to transfer it to our replacement screens. All right, here is our replacement part. Comes stock with a new home button gasket, as well as the home button retainer bracket, but we may not need that, so we'll see. I'm going to use my spudger to slowly separate it from the bottom. Always got to be meticulously careful because of all the shards. All right. All these broken shards. Okay, we have our home button. Nice, clean, and clear, and our home button bracket. Okay, what I'm going to do is cut 2 small pieces of adhesive to go on each sides of this to replace the old adhesive so it will hold that home button in place. Okay, nice. Apply a little bit of electronics glue around it to help hold it in place in addition to the fresh adhesive I just installed on its other side. Home button's looking good. We'll go ahead and remove this Tessa tape. All right, so we've got her mostly back together. Just finished putting that plate back on as well as the battery connector screw, voltage injection, and she is live. Let's run the quick test. Yes, these are 2 different parts. Pretty cool. Everything seems to be working. Let's do an app drag. Looks good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and close her up. 4 screws, holding the LCD in place. And then using a antimicrobial cloth to wipe off any spots. Does the job 90% of the time.
It works every time.
And voila, we're done. Can I get a